Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 115th Blue Hills Virtual Seminar. Blue Hills Virtual Seminar is a platform that allows healthcare professionals to discuss current management updates of different health-related topics for better patient care. And today's virtual seminar is brought to you by Blue Hills Ethiopia in collaboration with East African Regulatory Affairs Professional Association. So Blue Hills Ethiopia is a medical consultancy company founded by medical doctors and a computer engineer, and we aim to be an influential healthcare leader in creating a skilled community through easily accessible knowledge and preventive medicine. And I'm your host, Dr. Iheno Taddele from Blue Hills Ethiopia. So today it's a pleasure to have Abebe Alemneh Kasahun here with us to have a presentation on updates on regulatory harmonization initiatives and Reliance pathways in Africa, East Africa, and Ethiopia. So Mr. Abebe earned his bachelor's in pharmacy from Mekelle University and his master's degree in medicine regulatory affairs from Addis Ababa University. Mr. Abebe is a medicine registration expert at Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority. He is also the vice chairman of East African Regulatory Affairs Professional Association.
Thank you, Dr. Iheno from Blue Hills for introducing me briefly. As he said, I'm Abebe from Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority, basically, and I'm also Vice Chairman of East Africa Regulatory Affairs Professionals Association. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us in this late time in Ethiopia. So I'm going to give you updates on regulatory harmonization and reliance initiatives in Africa, in East Africa, and in Ethiopia. I will focus mainly on East Africa and Ethiopia because it's a bit broader to deal with all these titles within this short period of time. But in general, I will give you highlight on it. So this is my outline. I will have introduction on reliance procedures and what kind of reliance procedure are there in Africa as a continental level, in the regional level, as well as in each NRS in Africa, regulatory harmonization and reliance initiatives in East Africa, a little bit in detail on East Africa to proceed with submission procedures for the joint assessments for ASE and EGAT, and also for Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization. And lastly, I will have a brief presentation on updates on national Ethiopian procedure for reliance pathways. Maybe I will have some slides on also on future perspectives for Ethiopian regulatory system. So to start with, as per the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is signed and ratified by most of African countries, including Ethiopia, it's already noted that fragmented regulatory systems are among non-commercial challenges listed as a barrier on the agreement itself. I had a chance to read on that agreement, so I can witness that this fragmented regulatory system in Africa was found a challenge for the inter-Africa trade for so many items, including pharmaceutical products. So I know most of you are pharmacists and maybe very familiar to regulatory proceedings. So I will have no details of the advantages of freelance because everyone, I think, knows the advantages of freelance. But to say some words on that, Reliance is believed to facilitate timely access to safe, effective, quality-assured medical products, and can also support regulatory preparedness and response, particularly during public health emergencies. As you may remember, for the last years, we have been doing so many things, and basically we try to solve problems, including the vaccine issues for COVID-19, basically through reliance from different stringent regulatory agencies. So hopefully you fully understand these issues. And also enables best use of available resources and expertise on risk-based approach. Maybe for the better use of resources and expertise, it's also very, very recommended procedure, you may know. Saying this as an introduction, what kinds of reliance procedures are in Africa still today or this week? There are continental initiatives, as you know, Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization, and also the upcoming AMA, Africa Medicine Agency initiative, is examples of these continental procedures. Formerly starting from 10 years back, and so there are so many approximately 5 regional reliance mechanisms, including our own region, that's IGAD medicine registration harmonization, ASE medicine registration harmonization for East Africa, these 2, and Zazibona for Southern Africa, ECOWAS for Western Africa, and there are also other agencies regionally, like North African Harmonization Initiative, which is very recent. There are also multilateral recognitions between different national regulatory agencies, and one of the examples is the recent memorandum of understanding signed by 7 WHO maturity level 3 NRS last week on February 4. It was signed between these 7 well-functioning NRS between Africa. We can say this is the elite of national regulatory agency, the elite of Africa regulation agency. We can say 7 regulatory agencies operating under maturity level 3 WHO maturity level 3 level have come together last week in Cairo to sign memorandum of understanding for mutual bilateral multilateral recognitions. Zimbabwe, Ghana, Rwanda, Senegal, Tanzania, Nigeria, and South Africa national agencies were part of this memorandum of understanding. So apart from Egypt, these are all the African NRAs having very stable operation under maturity level 3 as per the WHO benchmarking. There's also bilateral recognition between Africa NRAs, and a best example will be the National Agency of South Africa, and that is SAFRA of South Africa, and Egyptian Drug Authority of Egypt has signed mutual recognition for recognizing the decision of each agency for medicine and vaccine as well. So any product registered in Egypt will be automatically accepted in South Africa or vice versa. This is bilateral recognition examples from Africa. There are also similar modalities in the rest of the world, like Health Canada and USFDA have the same modality agreement. So this is also the other type of recognition or reliance procedure in Africa. So rare, there's also unilateral recognitions among African NRAs. It's not most commonly practiced because many African NRAs depend on the agencies outside Africa, like USFDA, Health Canada, EMA, and all others, TJ of Australia, and all that. But it's very rare, but there is still examples of national regulatory agencies relying by other African national regulatory agency. For example, Sudan has recognized Egypt National Drug Authority as reference agency before 2 years. So any product registered in Egypt will be automatically imported to Sudan without any requirement of registration. So this is also one of the other types of reliance found in Africa NRAs. So when I come to the major regulatory harmonization and reliance initiatives in Africa, the bold one is Africa Medicine Agency. I think everyone have heard about this Africa Medicine Regulatory Harmonization or Africa Medicine Agency. Africa Medicine Regulatory Harmonization MRH initiative was established in 2009 back to harmonize the regulatory requirements in Africa, and also to foster establishment of this Africa Medicine Agency to be operationalized very soon. So far, according to the official website information of EUDAN-EPAD, 28 African countries have ratified Africa Medicine Agency Treaty, including Ethiopia and also other East African countries. But I think before last week, I have read that Nigeria has ratified it, but I think it's not yet officially released by the EUDAN-EPAD. So just to stick with the official information, 28 African countries have ratified it by this time. And Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization has started receiving applications. Maybe most of you know, may not know that Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization is already in operation. We already started as AMA operation. We already started receiving pilot applications, and joint assessments or continental pilot assessments have been started since end of 2023. So by this time, about 6 rounds of plenary sessions and those assessments have been conducted on behalf of this Africa Medicine Agency. So what are the products candidate for the Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization Submission according to the AMPTC Evaluation of Medicinal Products Technical Committee has prioritized products to be a candidate or eligible to this continental submission. Among these, new chemical or new biological entities are the priorities to be evaluated in this continental procedure. So any manufacturer having this kind of product is eligible to submit for the continental process, which means, and also products having complex generic products that have complex active ingredients like fixed dose combination and other complexes. Different complex formulations, dosage forms, and route of administrations are also candidates for this continental procedure, including liposomal forms. Vaccines and other biological products are also candidates. Gene therapies and advanced gene therapies are also candidates of products listed as a priority or as a target for this continental pathway. Then, if an applicant is interested to submit for this continental pathway, the national agency that is selected for submission is SAFRA of South Africa. National procedure is used. So any applicant with who is interested to submit this for this continental procedure need to contact South Africa National Agency for the submission process. They will follow exactly the same for the national procedure of South Africa. But in addition, they are expected to submit consent letter to be reviewed in the continental procedure side by side to the national agency. So the national agency will be able to share to the continental registration pathway. That's the procedure how you submit for the continental part. So the required document for the agency, for the African Medicine Agency pilot required document is ECTD. I think that's why South Africa agency was selected, because the only national agency using electronic common technical document is South Africa. So ECTD is required for the submission of these continental procedures. So far, about 6 rounds, as I said, 6 rounds of continental dosage assessments and plenary sessions have been completed as a pilot phase in this continental procedure. The other African base, we can say African Reliance procedure, because it's about 7 national agencies came together as a bilateral agreement. So this is signed by 4th of February, which means before 10 days or so. Very young, but it is signed already in Cairo on February 4 February 2025. So the memorandum of understanding was signed by Ghana FDA, which was also organized by Ghana FDA, National Agency of Nigeria, Rwanda Food and Drug Authority, Senegal National Agency, South Africa National Agency, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe were part of this memorandum of understanding. The signatories commit to streamline application submission and evaluation process to expedite regulatory processes in their memorandum of understanding. But I think it's too early to discuss details on this issue because it's very early stage. So I think it will be advisable to follow with this platform to be guided with how the procedures will be going on to register on this platform. So I'm coming to down to the East Africa issue. I think I will have better time on this because it's our region. I will give you a brief of the submission process and all that on this region. So there are 2 regional regulatory harmonization initiatives operating in East Africa. Maybe you know it. The first one and actually the oldest one in Africa is East Africa Community Medicine Registration Harmonization, and also the youngest one is IGAD Medicine Registration Harmonization, Intergovernmental Agency for Development. And the first one, that is East Africa Agency, the East Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization, was led by Tanzania Medicine and Medical Device Authority, TMDA. And the second one, IGAD Medicine Registration Harmonization, is led by the Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority for registration submission, respectively. So whenever a company is interested to submit applications to EAC, then I think it's clear where to go. It's Tanzania National Agency. And for the submission of IGAD medicine registration harmonization, Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority will be the leading agency. So the application will be through the Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority. That means EAC, East Africa Community, MRH, is the first regulatory harmonization in Africa. Has embraced regulatory reliance, harmonization, and work sharing for medical products since 2012. The joint scientific review of medicinal product dossier and good manufacturing practices were commenced since July 2015, 10 years back, which means, as I said, Tanzania TMDA is responsible to lead the registration procedure. So the applicant will submit applications through the TMDA of Tanzania for the joint assessment. And for the JMP, National Drug Authority of Uganda is the leading agency for this harmonization initiative. So if you are interested for the company or the GMP, then you need to talk to the National Agency of Uganda, and or if you are going to register products through this joint medicine registration harmonization to cover these all agencies, is the Tanzania Medicine and Medical Device Authority is a responsible agency to discuss with. So the member countries are Rwanda FDA is a member, Zanzibar Food and Drug Authority, Tanzania Medicine and Medical Device Agency Authority, National Drug Authority of Uganda, DFCA of South Sudan, and Abrema of Burundi are member states. So a company or a manufacturer already registered products in ESMRH will be able to sell products freely in these countries. There are two regulatory pathways that have been implemented by the ESC for the joint scientific review of medical products. The full assessment pathway is there, and also the abridged procedure for the products approved by WHO listed regulatory authorities, or the PQ pre-qualification program is there. So two types of procedures they have in ESC. As per their report, late report in November 2023, about 140 medicine products were evaluated through ESC joint assessment and recommended for registration. So it's a big achievement. I think it's very productive harmonization in Africa. When I come to the timeline issues, the problem they face is a bit on this target timeline, achieving in target timeline. On the right side, as you can see, estimated timeline for the assessment. Generally, as per their guideline or the process flow, they plan to achieve registration of products in 360 days to complete the registration procedure, which may be approximately 1 year for registration purpose. But when we come to the actual scenarios, the overall median approval time for the full assessment procedure in calendar days was a little bit longer, like 568 in 2018, about one and a half years. 823 days in 2019, more than 2 years. 244 in 2020 and 638 in 2021 were recorded in actual scenario. So the problems they are facing, actually most of the agencies and harmonization are facing similar problems, is achieving this target timeline. This is the official website if you are interested to read more on that, or if you want to access the guidelines for the ASC medicine registration application. I think you can visit this website to download any appropriate guideline to read with about the filing, the procedure, and all that. You can take a picture of this, I think. The other East African medicine registration harmonization is IGAD, Intergovernmental Agency for Development. IGAD MRH is a relatively younger regulatory harmonization initiative in Africa. The leader agency or the registration submission is through Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority, as I said. The first joint dossier assessment have been commenced in February 2020, 5 years back. So far, 6 joint assessments have been commenced so far, and a couple of products in the priority list have been recommended. The member countries for IGAD, as you can see on the picture side, is Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, and Sudan. Eritrea is no longer MRH member, according to the official website of IGAD. They come on and off sometimes, so Eritrea is no longer a member of this MRH. Unlike EAC and other harmonization initiatives, any product is not a candidate for the IGAD MRH. They have their own, or we have our own priority list medicine eligible for this harmonized procedure. So products categorized under this table are eligible for this pathway. Medicines used for reproductive health emergencies are among the products. Medicines for management of child and neonatal health, medicines used for management of malaria, antimicrobial agents, medicines for treatment of anti-cancer, mental health diseases, treatment of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, diabetes mellitus, and drugs used for neglect diseases and vaccines are candidates for this MRH or medicine registration harmonization. So a company having a category of products categorized under this category can apply through the IGAD medicine registration harmonization to cover all the member states at once. And the agency to contact for the submission process is Ethiopian National Agency, that's Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority. They will follow just similar to the national procedure. They will submit through the Ethiopian regulatory information system (RISE), and side by side they are expected to submit consent letter to be reviewed in the joint assessment of IGAD. That's the procedure. Just for the information, IGAD has been facing some resource limitations previously, but now I think revitalized by Africa Medicine Registration Harmonization Program again. Last joint assessment was commenced in the last 4 months period in Ethiopia, and submission procedure follows the Ethiopian national procedure. The difference is just submitting consent letter to be shared and reviewed in the IGAD harmonization procedure. So I'm coming to the Ethiopian national procedure and Reliance updates. Hello, doctor, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Doc, you can. Yes, Abebe, you can continue.
Thank you so much. So when I come to recent updates in Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority FDA Reliance procedure, before going through that, I would love to give you background information regarding the regulatory history in Ethiopia. FDA is the national regulatory body of Ethiopia, which is under the Ministry of Health. The history of regulation in Ethiopia is dated back to 1964. I think the oldest, probably the oldest agency in Africa. The first regulatory law or regulation was Pharmacy Regulation number 288/1964. So we are one of the long history and one of the oldest agencies in Africa. The agency FDA was established by the proclamation number 11/12/2019 and responsible for regulation of food, medicines, medical devices, cosmetics, and tobacco products in Ethiopia. And our vision, or FDA vision, is to be a center of excellence in food and health products regulation in Africa. And there are different regulatory tools developed in the meantime. When I come to my point, do you think Ethiopia rely on other agencies' assessment and decisions? The answer is yes, obviously yes. We are using Reliance since long time ago, including WHO and other listed agencies. Just to give you a general highlight of our registration submission pathways in general. We have regulatory pathways, regular pathway, that's regular submission pathway for any new drug, generic and new entity, any new application. Complete CTD document is required, compiled with as per the national guideline of Ethiopia. And we have also low risk registration pathway. Based on the low risk registration guideline, you can refer which products are low risk, which is annexed in the guideline for low risk products registration. We have low risk registration guideline. So the products listed as a low risk are annexed at the back of the guideline. So if your product is listed as a low risk, then you'll be very benefited from this pathway. the shortest timeline you can achieve. The assessment procedure is not as rigorous as any other new product. The other one is if we have also fast track registration for locally manufactured products and for priority products for the national health system. That's anti-malaria drug, antiretroviral drug, anti-tuberculosis medicines, reproductive health products, anti-cancer drugs, vaccines, medicines for neglected and tropical diseases are prioritized for registration procedure. The depth of the assessment is the same, but we give priority in the assessment timeline. They will not wait long time as any other product. That's the fast track concept. The other one is Reliance pathway. We rely on WHO collaborative procedure, CRP, and we have also SRA procedure according to listed reference agencies, and also IGAD joint assessment, and AMA. We already signed for this medicine registration harmonizations. So Ethiopia, being the 88th WHO member country, actively participated in and relies on WHO collaborative procedure, CRP. We have also assessors who are directly participating as an assessor for the WHO collaborative procedure. About 4 senior assessors are directly participating as WHO assessor. So whenever the product is approved through the WHO CRP program, then with a kind of verification assessment within 90 days, we can give marketing authorization with a very experienced procedure. The assessment will not be as rigorous as a new application. We just verify for the sameness of the application approved from the WHO CRP program. Then we rely on the assessment and the feedback or the decision made by the WHO to give marketing authorization. So Ethiopia relies for both marketing authorization or registration and GMP applications. We also waive for the physical GMP audit based on the decision made by reference listed agencies. I will give you a list of agencies later. We have revised recently our guideline on Reliance for medicine marketing authorization, released in last December 2024, before 1 month or 2. And few institutions were added to include African Medicine Agency and IGAD Medicine Registration Harmonization are included according to our new guideline on the reference agencies. So totally about 39 agencies and institutions are listed as reference agencies. So FDA has Reliance pathway for medicine registration, as I already said. FDA also waives physical GMP audit with desk review and approval based on the approval from the reference authority. For example, if they can provide the GMP certificate from US FDA, then the physical audit for the GMP inspection will be waived and through the desk review, and they can get GMP waiver certificate based on the documents provided from the reference companies, the reference agencies. And we, as I said, we released our new guideline, version 3 guideline in December 2024, and accordingly has listed 39 national agencies and regional institutions as reference agencies. So it's a very big number to rely with. 39 agencies are recognized as reference agencies by Ethiopian National Agency. So these are partially list of reference NRS and institutions. As you can see, US FDA is already recognized. Therapeutic Goods Administration of TJ of Australia, Health Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, Norway, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, WHO pre-qualification, EMA, are listed as our reference agencies. Of course, you can read the guideline for more detail. The depth of Reliance depends into different categories. You can read on that. Maybe this is all about our Reliance procedure nationally, but I think you will be also interested to hear some about the service fees, especially if you are applicant, importer, or manufacturer all over the world. Obviously, you'll be interested to hear about the service charges we incur for the registration process. So rate of service fee for inspection of good manufacturing practice is if a company is in East Africa countries, it's about 5,400 USD for 2 production lines, and then for any production line, additional 1,500 USD will be added. This is how we calculate the GMP fee. For other African countries other than East Africa countries, $6,930. Middle East countries, 7,750. Far East countries, 7,400 USD, and all this. And when I come to the Reliance, for any company, for any number of production lines, the desk GMP waiver process will be processed only for 3,500 USDs. Number 2. And for registration service fee, doser pre-screening and detailed scientific review with BE and without BE is approximately now, according to the recent exchange rate, it's equivalent to $50 approximately. And laboratory sample test fee per product is $924. And total, you can account approximately $1,000 per product is registration service fee for Ethiopia National Agency. This is future perspectives of Ethiopia Food and Drug Authority. The authority aspires to boost number of registered options in the country from the number where we are now, 4,000 to 7,200 in the coming 3 years. We also aspire to establish robust product track and trace system. We boost local productions through implementation of national strategy and plan of action. And we also want to achieve the WHO maturity level 3 in the near future, and we will be preparing for the continual development. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe if you are interested to contact us as East Africa Regulatory Agency, you can take a picture of this contact details, email, and website. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abebe. It was an interesting presentation. So participants, if you have any questions or comments related to the topic or to the presentation, you can write it down in the chat box. Okay, there's one question by Elvetel. One question by Elvetel is, in comparison to other African countries, how well developed is Ethiopia's regulatory system?
All right, thank you, Elvetel. Yeah, the strengths of, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you though.
All right. Maturity of national agency is measured through the WHO system global benchmarking tool. So before saying my own opinion, I think it's better to explain based on the national, I think the scientific background. In Africa, there are about 8 national agencies operating under maturity level 3 so far. The first one was achieved in 2018 at Tanzania Food and Medicine and Medical Device Agency, TMDA, which was the first to achieve this maturity level 3 WHO global benchmarking tool. And next to that, Ghana has achieved it. Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda, and Senegal are operating under the maturity level 3, which is very stable and integrative system. It's very good. The last maturity level 3 given by WHO is maturity level 4. So far there is no any agency achieving this maturity level 4. So when I come to Ethiopia, we have been benchmarked by WHO recently. Of course, I think officially it will be released. The audit has been done. I think the official result is being awaited. So we don't know the result. Still, we are not announced as the WHO maturity level 3, so we are under maturity level 2. But in my opinion, being the oldest national agency of Africa, I can assure you that so many agencies I mentioned, like Tanzania, was reportedly known that they have been fetching experiences from Ethiopia previously before years. So they developed the system, and currently they are operating very good. So we are one of the oldest agencies and operating pretty good, in my opinion. It's very good. in moderately good status in Africa. That's what I can say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The second question is, it's an informative and clear presentation. It's by Tagaim Bogala. And how about payments for companies which are found in our country?
All right. The payment for our country is first of all to be paid in the local currency, which is very, very much less than international companies, both for the GMP as well as for registration. For the general information, I think I advise you to go for the website to download the service fee regulation 289 slash 2019 or so. You can read the whole history there, for including the local, international, and everything. So I can assure you it's much less than the international applicants to help local production, to facilitate or to assist local production, but it's much less compared to the national, the other international companies.
Okay, another question is, do we expect that AFD has worked in full capacity pertaining to different regulatory gaps? By Tagaim Bogala.
All right. Yeah, we don't claim that we are perfect, or specifically in such a dynamic scientific world, specifically concerning to medicines. There are always innovative drug products like gene therapy, individual therapy, so many new initiatives, innovatives are coming. So anytime the agency is expected to cope with international, this is fast-paced international innovation. So there are always challenges, obviously, you can imagine. We are doing our best to safeguard the public, but we don't think we are in the perfect position. That's what are currently doing. So first of all, we are aspiring to achieve the WHO maturity level 3. And I think that will be a good energy to operate and to safeguard the public. But I share your concern that we have still so many gaps. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Abebe. So another comment by Jonas Kababe is, thank you for the great presentation, and I would like to know the regulatory efforts behind advocating for API manufacturing in Africa and general in East Africa particularly.
Concerning the API manufacturing, generally in Africa, actually there are three types of manufacturing when we say manufacture. The first type of manufacturing is API. Secondary manufacturing or secondary phase is finished product, and the tertiary one is packaging. The bulk product will be imported and then packed within the country and will be distributed. This is the stages. The first one, the API manufacturing, is not there in Africa yet. There have been two API manufacturers in Egypt for 10 years, since 2016. But unfortunately, they couldn't cope up with competition from India and China with the lowest price. They are not surviving so far yet. So API manufacturing in Africa in general is not in a good condition, not only in East Africa and Ethiopia. So obviously, we need to work on that in collaboration with different research institutions and all that. But the fact is, API manufacturing is not doing well in Africa in general. I think that is what the African leaders are currently discussing with. It's one of the priority in Agenda 2063 of Africa Union. So obviously, it's not in a good condition, I can say.
Okay, thank you very much. Another two more questions. So, what is the role of what is the role of these reliance mechanisms play in combating standard and falsified medicines?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is very important question. When I say Reliance, what we can or WHO Good Reliance Practice advocates is that Reliance need to be a life cycle approach, which means we don't only rely for the purpose of issuing marketing authorization or just registration purpose or the GMP waiver. We need also keep relying on the information provided by the reference agency then after during the life cycle of the product. Whenever the product is registered based on the information or the registration evidence issued from US FDA, yes, that's good to register based on the Reliance, based on the information, based on the risk review issued from the US FDA. But whenever the product is recalled or sucked, or whenever the market authorization is revoked from the American market, then I will be attentive to do similar decisions according to the life cycle approach. So when we have trusted relationship based on reliance, like bilateral or unilateral, you can say, or multilateral, the information sharing between the agencies will be very good. Whenever there is a decision against the quality, I think, like for example, we have been revoking marketing authorization of ranitidine recently, but that is depending on the decision made by other reference agencies due to the impurities related to the product ranitidine. So whenever the agencies outside Ethiopia, which are reference agencies for Ethiopia, take any administrative action against the quality of the product, we similarly do the same. And the information sharing will be fostered whenever you have Reliance agreement. So Reliance has its own advantage in information dissemination and taking similar actions all over the world. That's the importance of Reliance in that side.
Okay, another question is, what are your thoughts on the registration time taken by EFD?
Yes, we have target timelines. Like for example, for regular pathway, the product is expected to be registered in 2017 days. That's approximately 9 months. 9 months to 1 year is acceptable according to our directive. But unfortunately, it's taking too long time recently. We admit that due to different reasons. The first reason is so many applicants are submitting their application for the Ethiopian market at the same time. So there are accumulated backlogs for assessment. And we have also limited resources, limited number of assessors, and also limited resources in general, just like any other African countries. So due to this, it's taking a little bit longer time. But if we can compare with other African nations, we are still not bad. You can check South African procedure. You can check any other NRA. Approximately 1.5 years, 2 years is normal for any nation. That's not the target to be done, but every agency in Africa is facing similar issues. So I admit that we need to improve the timeline issues. We need to try to meet our target timelines. Like for example, for the Reliance pathway, our target timeline is 90 days, 3 months. And for regular pathway, 270 days, 9 months. So we are still striving to achieve this target timeline. Maybe sometimes it fluctuates from time to time due to the backlog accumulation and due to the resource limitation.
Okay, thank you very much. So another thing by Yasmin Ali is, thanks for this informative presentation. Please, if our facility is registered in Ethiopia and we are in re-inspection phase for renewal, our facility is registered in EMA, so can we get Reliance?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
So if our facility is registered in Ethiopia and we are in re-inspection phase for renewal of our facility registered in EMA, I think it's
Okay.
Ethiopian Medical Association. So can we get a Reliance?
So they have EMA approval, European Medicine Agency, I think. Yes, EMA is one of our recognized reference agency. If they can provide evidences of GMP approval from EMA, yes, obviously they can. But sometimes what I can say is manufacturers are misled by the information that any European member country will be a reference agency. No, that's not the case. Like few agencies in member of EMA are fully recognized, and some few other countries are partially recognized. The detail they can read on the guideline recently released by FDA for marketing authorization reliance procedure. The applicant will sometimes provide GMP approval from, for example, Hungary, and they will request us to give them waiver for the GMP audit. In that case, yes, they can do that, but what we'll request them is that they will provide the GMP certificate along with the marketing authorization issued by the same country, Hungary, or any other European Union member countries. If they can provide both the GMP certificate as well as the marketing authorization, yes, we can give them GMP waiver based on the Reliance pathway. Otherwise, only GMP certificate from a country like Hungary is not eligible for the Reliance pathway for the GMP waiver because it is under the category two of Reliance reference list, which is marketing authorization is also required from the same country for that case. But like, for example, if they can provide from MHRA of UK, obviously we can give them waiver approval based on Reliance. So my question is, which country are you referring to when you say EMA? Is that the Central Procedure of European Medicine Agency or any other European Union member country? So I have to know which country is that to decide on that question. Thank you.
Okay, so Tagay Mogala wanted to know how to join the East African Regulatory Affairs Professional Association.
All right. Thank you very much again for your interest to join our association. If you are working as a regulatory expert from importer or manufacturer, or if you are a graduate of regulatory affairs also, we will release registration platform very soon. We are doing some rearrangements, so we will release registration platform. Maybe you can keep following with us in our social media platforms, in LinkedIn, in our website as well, and also Facebook. So we will release a registration format very soon. Maybe that's how you can register. Thank you.
Okay, one last question. So what is the role of this all regulatory harmonization and effort to achieve maturity level 3 on time to medicine registration in Ethiopia?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this Reliance may not have direct impact to achieve WHO maturity level 3. It's not a mandatory requirement to rely with other agencies, but obviously it is a standard. I mean, very common practice all over the world to rely with any other agency or institution decision making. That's also acceptable by WHO. So I think this Reliance procedure will help us at least to meet our registration target timelines, which is one of the important indicator as per the global benchmarking tool of WHO, and also may not have direct implication or direct advantage to achieve this maturity level 3. But our Reliance is mainly for the sake of our service, and the aim of or the vision of FDA is primarily to serve the public, to keep the public safety and product quality assurance in the Ethiopian market. So the Reliance will help us to achieve our mission and vision. On the way, whenever your mission and vision is achieved, then WHO maturity level 3 will be achieved on the way. That's how it can help us. Otherwise, you can rely, as well as maybe you will not rely if you are capable of doing by your own. That's not a problem for WHO maturity level 3. Thank you.
Okay, for the previous question by Yasmin, it is mentioned the country is Romania.
Romania. Which country?
Romania, I think. Romania.
Romania. Okay. I still, I'm on the presentation. I have no access on the guideline, which category is Romania is categorized, but I think it's in category 2. I will check that. Or Yasmin can check on the guideline. You can access our guideline on FD website for the marketing authorization Reliance guideline 2024 released in last month. You can refer the category of this Romania first. Then if it is in the category 2, yes, you are eligible for Reliance, but you'll be requested to provide both GMP certificate from Romania as well as marketing authorization of your products, at least one product from Romania itself or any other recognized list of agencies like European member countries. But fortunately, if Romania is in category 2, you can be waived. You will be eligible for Reliance just using your GMP certificate from Romania only. You may not be requested to provide marketing authorization for products from Romania or any other country if it is categorized under category 1. But make sure that Romania is category 1 or 2 first. The guideline will guide you how to proceed with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Abebe, on behalf of Blue Hills Ethiopia and all our participants for taking the time to give an informative lecture on an important topic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we hope to have you soon and in the future to have related lectures, hopefully.
Thank
And
you so much. Yes, I will be there. Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
And sorry for interruption. I have come across with one question. Which university or college gives MSc in regulatory affairs in Ethiopia? From Barakat Tasfai. It's from Addis Ababa University School of Pharmacy. You can talk to maybe one of the organizers in Addis Ababa University School of Pharmacy. There's a master's program in medicine regulatory affairs. Yes. Thank
okay.
you, Doc. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, all. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.